All right, it just started.
Woohoo! Pain part 2.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't hear enough about pain, we're bringing it again. More pain. All right. So welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for you, Amy. This is our third podcast together.
Third, yeah.
Yay. She survived the first two. Well, you guys are surviving too. I see you guys, we've been getting views, which is great, some comments. And again, from my part, apologies for the sound the first time was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But we worked it out that we need to have this directional mic within 3 feet of us. So I hope that the sound is a lot better now. And for the benefit of everyone watching this, we'd like to just summarize the key points we brought up on last podcast. If you haven't seen it, definitely take a look at it, because we're going into part 2 of pain and how it relates in terms of the spiritual significance and how you can heal it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, let's go.
So here we go. Last week, we talked about pain as being a messenger and not a punishment. And that pain is the body's way of telling us that something is out of balance. Emotional pain is the soul's way of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing we talked about is that pain is the fire that burns away illusion.
Yeah.
Pain is the fire that burns away illusion. Pain results from a judgment that we hold about a thing.
Yeah.
Remove that judgment and the pain, what?
Transforms,
disappears.
Yeah.
Right? And that's fucking amazing, right? Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know? And so many people are dealing with pain in their own way, whether it's physical or emotional.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful to know that a lot of it, if not all of it, is in our control, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
And then number 3, what is this showing up me from myself? My truth. Pain guides us towards who we really are. And a quote from Conversations with God, one of my favorite books, if you guys don't already know that. I have sent you nothing but angels. So imagine that. Anyone that's been sent to you in your life, anyone, including that one and that one and that one.
I'm getting there, okay? I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's easier for me to say it to you. If you tell me the same thing, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you've been sent angels.
Everyone's an angel.
Are they?
Everyone is an angel. Yeah.
Angels just sent this to you. Deal with it. Everyone's so even painful moments contain hidden grace, an opportunity to awaken, open, surrender, forgive, or evolve. And number 4 was pain can reveal unhealed beliefs. And as Abraham Hicks says, a belief is nothing more than a thought that we keep thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly. So some things, about beliefs, pain shows up when a belief we carry no longer serves us. So if we're thinking, for example, that I'm not worthy, it can lead to patterns of rejection.
Ooh.
Yeah, let that sink in. You ever feel unworthy? Do you see patterns of rejection in your life? Take a moment, maybe pause this video and journal or think about it,
Like what you just said about it, pain is an indicator that you're ready to, well, in the different words, but you're ready to grow. It's not serving you anymore. So it just hit me like at some point that belief that isn't true serves you in some way.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you're ready to move past that energetically and to grow, it's going to show up as pain because it's not in alignment and you need to address it.
Beautifully said. No, I love it.
That just
I love
was
it.
like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well said.
Because it might be comfortable for a long time.
Exactly.
And then pain comes and it's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I've been doing all the work. I've been meditating. I've been, being good to people.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I should be exempt from all that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm a graduate of spiritual university. Give me break. I've lived so many lifetimes.
Give me a
This should be my
break.
final lifetime.
Yeah.
Where's enlightenment? Come on.
Just be happy all the time.
Yeah, right?
Why?
Yeah, I don't think that's on Earth unless you're like 6 feet below, right? They say, what do they say? Only 2 guarantees, death and taxes. And if you want all your problems to go away, yes.
Yeah.
And that's another topic. We should maybe talk about death.
Yeah,
which would be beautiful.
Abraham Hicks talks about like, oh, it's okay, you'll croak at some
Yeah,
point.
I love that.
Like if you really don't want to deal
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it, then you could just croak.
Yeah. And it can sound very insensitive, but if you start to realize the nature of death and what it actually is versus what we've been told, then the fear goes away and the judgment goes away about death, and even what you expect the judgment to be on you, if any, right? A lot of religions teach that.
Totally.
That, oh, when you're in the grave, the angels will question you and they will squeeze you in the grave, and you're going to have this
what?
punishment and that punishment.
Ugh.
Yeah, welcome to Islam. I'm sorry. Not
No
true
judgment.
Islam.
Sorry,
Astaghfullah.
no judgment on any.
Yeah, we're going to get some interesting
like-
comments on that one.
No, yeah, no judgment.
All right. So to each their own.
Yeah.
But my belief, and I think Amy would agree, that we believe in a loving God, in a forgiving God, in a merciful God, and in the end, it's us who are giving ourselves that mercy. You know, so if we are only gonna be living life to be condemned eternally afterwards, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it just kind of doesn't make sense to me. It just in here, it that never sat right with me.
Thank you. Sorry guys if we lost some listeners. Try it on before you get
Yeah.
angry and type something or shut this off, because how you see the world is how the world will appear to you. What you expect will become your reality.
Yeah.
And so getting back to what we were saying, one of the beliefs that you may have is life must be hard, right? We know, I know my parents' generation, a lot of people still hold that belief.
Yeah.
That you have to have a hard life.
You have to work. You have to earn what
Yes.
you have, and if you didn't work hard enough, then did you really earn it? Do you really deserve it?
Yeah.
If it just came
No
to
pain,
you
no gain,
without
that
any
whole concept.
without any effort,
Yeah.
then why do you deserve that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what that leads to? Struggle and
Yep.
exhaustion,
Yeah.
right? Like just look at someone in your life that has that belief, and you'll see someone who struggles a lot and someone who's exhausted.
Yeah.
What belief, you can ask yourself, what belief must I be holding to be experiencing this pain? What belief must I be holding to be experiencing this pain?
Yeah.
The answers to which will allow you to get towards your healing. And the fifth thing was about allowing, expressing, and transforming. So we're not encouraging spiritual bypassing, instead inviting you to be fully present with your pain. Dealing with pain, the first thing would be to acknowledge it fully. Don't suppress it, feel it. Number 2, ask it what it wants to teach you.
I was just gonna. That came up. It
Yeah,
was
I'm
like
sure.
ask it. You can ask it.
Yeah, what are you trying to teach me? Ask it, and
Yeah.
then, listen.
Just
really
listen.
be there and listen. Treat it like a visitor with a message, a messenger, if you will. Number 3, bless it. This sounds radical, but say to it, thank you, pain, for showing me what I've been unwilling to see.
And you might get, if you really just open yourself up and let yourself be vulnerable to how it feels, and you ask, you will get maybe images or memory or words or anything. Like at first that used to happen to me, and I thought, oh, I just can't concentrate. Like my mind is just so active that I can't even listen to anything they're trying to say, or if I was to get any messages. And then I realized, no, those were the messages.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, oh, it's just me, and no, like they come in any kind of shape or
Right.
form, sensations in the body, anything.
Yeah, you could be listening to a song and it comes up in there. It could be you turn on the TV or
Yeah.
a friend says something, you're like, oh shit, that's what I needed to hear. Signs are everywhere. I was talking about it with one of my mentees on a call earlier before you came, that, synchronicities are a way for the universe, for God to speak to us.
Yeah.
And so all these synchronicities are speaking to us. And imagine that, including pain.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's an undesired emotion or feeling doesn't mean that it's not a messenger.
Exactly. And if you take the words off undesired, or I hate this, or I don't like this, just let it be as it is. And anytime you have a judgment of it, let it go and just see what else is there. And if you can just let it be as an, oh, this isn't good or bad, and then you can be more open to what it is trying to show you, so that you can walk through that into, you know, a bigger opening.
Beautifully said. Exactly. And then number 4 would be shift your perspective. Move from why is this happening to me to what is this calling forth from me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Totally. Because there's a version of you that wants to be born, but there are limitations
yes.
in the way, because you have these thoughts. No, I must do this, and it must be like this. And it's like that part of you can't come through if your mind is saying, no, it's got to be this way. So then that friction is going to cause pain, and it's like
Yes.
it needs to be birthed through.
Yes. Beautifully said. And number 5, choose again. Once you've received the gift, quote unquote, decide how you want to experience the situation going forward.
Yeah.
So,
And that actually works. I don't think I used to do that as much before, and I have been lately, envisioning
Yeah.
and feeling, what do I really want? What would the best case scenario be, and actually feel it? And it kind of works.
yeah,
It has been.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that because you speak a lot out of your experience, and I feel like a lot of people listening can resonate with that, because it's not just because you read it in a book, it's not just because someone told you, but you've actually experienced it.
Yeah. I hope it can help and
I know it
resonate
is.
with
I know it
people,
is
yeah.
because, I mean, it's helping me, believe it or not, because I get to like not just read it, but to hear, oh, there's another human being that can resonate with it and
Yeah.
actually talk about it, and you know,
Yeah.
come at it from a different perspective, or you know, and it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
this stuff is really helpful.
But it's funny that you're saying, like, thank you for saying that, because a part of my biggest limitations were that, like, oh, like, I don't retain knowledge that well reading books, and, like, I was never that good in school. I'm an art person. Like, I like to experience things, and I always thought my experiences weren't as important or valuable because I should have learned this from someone else, or I should have been studying in that way, but my study is coming from here. And so for you to acknowledge that, it really means a lot to me, because I've lately realized, like, no, that's no. Like, I have to honor my own way of what's coming through for me, and I'm really happy that you appreciate that and are acknowledging that. So.
Of course I appreciate it. And you know, it's beautiful what you just shared, because I can relate to what you just said in a very deep way.
Yeah.
I think a few years ago, I don't know if it's happened to you your entire life or just recently, or you can relate to this at all, but a few years ago I started to discover that numbers are not occurring to me the same way. And my memory is not doing so well. And a part of it, I felt, was because of the COVID vaccine.
Oh.
And then I had the metals detoxed from my body.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
And that helped with the brain fog.
Okay.
But I still felt that there was something shifting in me, essentially pushing me to be more present.
Okay, and that's what my answer was going to be.
I love when this happens.
Yes, because what is happening is that, and it's with the whole world, actually.
Yes.
Like, time is changing.
That's right.
Energy is expanding.
Yes.
It's becoming lighter. The sun is now different.
Yes.
And our old ways of thought don't serve us anymore.
They do not.
So what it feels like is like, oh, I'm being more forgetful. Wait, why can't I focus on that thing I'm trying to think about? Because
Right.
it doesn't, okay, not that it doesn't matter, but it's trying to shift us to more presence. And when you're in your head thinking about certain things, it's not being present. And being present can feel like you're out of it. Because I remember, like, my mom used to always look at me and be like, are you not even, like, paying attention? Where are you? Like, you're in your world, right? And I'm like, oh, is that bad? And I realized later, like, no, yeah, like, that's just what I'm like. Like, I'm just...
So you get it.
Yeah. But I don't, like, and I thought too, and I hear these things, oh, the vaccine, oh, this and that, and I'm like, you know what, I choose not to think that has anything to do with it.
Right.
And I really feel strongly that it has way more to do with the evolution of the earth and the
Beautifully
energy's
said.
changing.
Yes.
And it feels better too. So, and I think that's what's pushing us to, we want to feel
Yes.
better, not in fear.
So I don't know if you heard this YouTube video that I sent you a couple of months ago about, it starts out as, if you are the chosen one, like that, you are meant to hear this. If you are not the chosen one, this will not resonate with you and you must move on. It sounds like that, right? I'm like, this is really fucked up, but I keep listening.
I know, I do
I'm like,
too,
I want to be
so
the
I'm
chosen
like, what are
one.
they
Maybe deep
saying?
down, I'm
Like,
like, maybe
yeah.
I'm the chosen one.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, this was deep shit. And then I send it to you and like a handful of other people that I know that would appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, this was so deep. It was talking all about the new earth, the shift that's going on, and what people are experiencing that are committed to being on the new earth, whether they realize it or not, on the
Yeah.
conscious level.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this shit is deep, but the way that he's delivering it is very unique, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, how else can I deliver it so that it can benefit those of us that are struggling with the shift,
Yes.
quote unquote. So I created an album, a deep house album called Ear Candy for the Soul.
Cool.
And the tracks I put on there have the numbers, like we send numbers back and forth, 222, 1111,
Yeah.
000. And I sync those with the titles. So if you guys want to check it out, it's you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on iTunes, all streaming platforms, including on social media. Under My Spiritual Teacher, look up Ear Candy for the Soul. It's like a pink album cover. You haven't heard it yet, right?
I don't know. Now I can't remember.
I wonder why.
It's in my thing
It's all
somewhere.
good. Yeah, it's all right. Maybe we'll listen to it afterwards.
Yeah.
But if you like deep house, sometimes I'm in the mood for it, so I do.
I don't
listen to it.
usually listen to deep
Yeah,
house.
I like it sometimes, like once in a while, because it's very dreamy to me, and it can be a little bit more mindless than some others. Like when I listen to bachata, for example, I'm like counting the beats because as
Yeah,
a leader,
true.
I'm like, oh, this is where I dip her.
could
What
do
can I
that
do in this?
there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, and then may I finally just summarize the end part?
Yeah.
All right, then we can start
Yeah.
part 2 of
Kinda
pain.
just, like,
More
jumped
pain.
in a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, it's all good. we go on tangents. It's all good. It's perfect. So a summary affirmation may be: pain is not the end. It is the threshold. Through it, I walk into greater truth, love, and remembrance. Right? And when we talk about remembrance, it's not like you've lost your memory of like just yesterday. It's like remembrance of who you truly are, of your soul's purpose, of the perfection of all things, in spite and despite of what they may seem.
Yeah. And it's not so much of a remembrance here. Like you think you can define everything and see yourself in this way, but it's actually from here. It's a feeling memory.
Yeah.
It's like a more of a resonance than I think because words they have a certain
Yeah.
way of communicating that
Yeah.
maybe
It could be
take
words can be triggering too, right? Like
yeah.
when Abraham talks about God, doesn't say God, says source.
Yeah.
And people ask why. They said because your notion of God is so convoluted.
Yeah.
She said it in her own ways, but it's like, we personify God for one.
Yeah.
It's a him in most religions.
Right.
I think that's travesty.
Yeah.
Number one. And then we're like, oh, our Father who art in heaven. I'm sorry if I'm being blasphemous or sounding blasphemous. I don't mean to. But for example, in conversations with God, God says, if you're going to personify me, I'm as much of a mother as I am a father. I'm like, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And in those series, God takes on masculine and feminine equally, half and half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that speaks to my soul. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Oh wow, we're
Yeah.
equal.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Equally as
Shit.
important.
So yeah, God talks about that in conversations with God and says, you can understand that Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna, whomever you conceive to be a great master, an enlightened master, a Christed master, you may say that, oh, they can be that. They can achieve this closeness to the Father, Mother, God, but not I. I'm just a mere mortal, or I'm just a sinner, God forbid, or I'm born in sin, God forbid. You know, like we condemn ourselves even before we can be like, oh no, actually we're blessed by the most merciful, most loving, most gracious creator, period.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and what I keep seeing is women giving birth.
Hello? No, but
I mean,
women come
you
from
know-
the ribs of men.
Yeah. So I
Know
guess
your place, woman. And
Like-
cover that shit. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get so much hate from this. But hey, this is my truth, okay? And if Amy wants to slap me now, she can, but I don't think she will, because you get
Not gonna go there.
even my
That's
jokes. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, of course.
That-
But yeah, I mean, it's just
My beard length and how many times I pray a day, or I don't think that will matter. I mean, even in the stories of Islam, for example, they say, Iblis, who they say was not a fallen angel, but rather a jinn, like that's where the word genie comes from. An entity that was made out of smokeless fire. That he was so close to God, he used to worship for thousands and thousands of years, that he achieved the ranks of the angels, if not higher, because he was given free choice, but he chose to worship. And why am I talking about this?
figure and
Yeah, it's just.
are we comparing? Or?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Sorry, guys.
No, this is good
Is
because
it?
Because what I think that you're saying is so what I'm seeing is women giving birth. Okay, that's my and you're
you.
going to this man who is worshiping a higher god, right?
Yeah, I don't know if Iblis was a male figure, but I think we make Satan and Iblis out to be a masculine energy, just like we do
Masculine
God.
energy. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think is, excuse my French, BS, because it's like okay, the body, our anatomy is what gives us our sex, but our soul is genderless.
Yes.
And our soul is what comes from the image of God. And if the image of God is genderless, then it doesn't. We cannot keep personifying God and imagine God to be, like omnipotent, because in this illusion we're not seen as or experiencing ourselves as omnipotent. We've come into this beingness to concentrate consciousness so that we can experience life in a linear fashion. Whereas it's all happening now. You know what I mean? This is like.
Well, what I'm seeing is that there's the masculine energy tends to be more analytical, logical, more in 3D, right? Doing things, taking action. Whereas female or feminine energy, like what I'm seeing is the God part, creating life, like literally growing life.
Yes.
But what this is an inside experience, and I feel like there's been a lot of masculine energies that have been able to reach more people, speak about this higher connection, whereas the feminine is experiencing it internally. That's the importance of it. It's not the importance of I'm gonna go and tell everyone and have this be known.
Said. Wow.
No, and that's what's so important about both. It's not that like one is better than the other. It's that they're experiencing the two different polarities, and the God, like connection to spirit, source, whatever you want to say, the earth, anything, having that internal experience is just as important as being able to go out and speak and teach about it, right?
Absolutely.
But I think over time that hasn't been valued.
I love the way sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I love the way you're describing it because of the perspective that it gives. It reminds me of the yin and yang energy, the balance,
They're
fire and
equally
water.
important. We need each other. We need both.
It's a beautiful thing, right? It's like the positive, negative, but not that anything is worse or good or bad. It's just the contrast of it, right? It's so beautiful, right?
And the
I
masculine
love
can
it.
will
Yeah.
experience the internal too. It's just more of like I was giving an example,
Yeah,
right? And
for
like
sure.
feminine energy can experience that other, like it
Yes.
goes back and forth. But to me, that's a really good example of why feminine energy maybe hasn't been so like people don't look at an
It's not so
inside.
pronounced.
Yeah, it's not pronounced. It's
Although we are in the age of Aquarius, and it's a feminine rising energy.
oh, I don't know anything about that
Girl.
stuff. Sorry, everyone.
I shared with you my latest reggae album,
Yes.
right?
So good.
The Wind Will Carry You.
Yeah.
So there's a track in there, She Rises.
Yeah, that I told you that was my favorite.
That's what it's about. It's
Yeah.
about the feminine energy rising
Yeah.
and the divine feminine rising. And as I explained to this random dude in the mall, so Sherry and I are
someone
walking in a
stop you?
mall. No, I stopped him because he's just this cute, beautiful Trinidadian man with like dreads, and he had his son with the same dreads, and they were just so cute. They look like a model family, right? And so I'm just like, dude, are you guys models or something? Or he's like, no, I'm actually hiding from my wife. I said, why? Because I'm surprising her for her anniversary or something of that sort. And I see on my, Find My iPhone app that she's in the mall too, and she's not supposed to be here. And I'm like, okay. And then I don't know how, he told me he's from the islands. I told him about my album. And then I told him about the feminine energy. And he's like, oh, no, like we're masculine, we're men. I'm like, we all have feminine and masculine energy. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about female, male. I'm talking about the energy itself.
Exactly. It's not what we have made it to be.
And that's the I don't want to say it's the problem, but it's the challenge, right? That a lot of us have been conditioned, especially men, to think that, oh, we cannot express our feminine side or feminine energy of empathy, of compassion in the same way that we would if we could let go of the machismo-ness of it, like, oh, I cannot cry, or I have to have my chest out all the time, or I have to speak in a deep voice, you know what I mean?
Even to me, the fact that compassion and that kind of care is related to feminine is not even right. Like to me, that does not resonate. Like I get it. Like,
I made it up. I may be wrong, but
no. I mean, that's like generally what it's like. Like women are nurturers, men are the hunter-gatherer. We have to, and I feel like maybe because like the masculine influences I've had in my life have all been very nurturing and very caring. I have this in me where I'm like, no, like I know what men are, and men are not just these, like we're supposed to take all the beating and not say anything, all this stuff. No, like it's
Never
not.
cry,
I don't feel like
that.
that is, and I think the way that the planet is going is gonna be more like men and women are going to take on more of each other's roles and become more united in that. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think so. And also I feel like it is becoming an honoring of the divine feminine within all of us.
Yeah. Like it's not just like, oh, only women. It's like, no, our feminine aspects, male and female. Like
Exactly.
I really feel strongly that now, yes, feminine rising and, taking on a lot more value for the feminine aspect, but in that, I don't think that the men and the masculinity should get lost, because I think there's a lot of anger within like feminine, because of so many years.
Yeah, it's like an oppression that's been happening for
that you just like no
centuries.
Like it's this deep anger, but it's like no, we need each other.
Yes.
This is not about us gaining over anyone.
Right,
this
right.
is about us coming together finally and being helping each other, not just men need to support women. No, we need to support men too. Like it needs to be both ways. And when there's no balance, it's not good for anyone. It hurts both of us.
Right.
So
and I think we're living in a very beautiful time because as a human race, we're looking to find that balance.
Yeah.
Right? We went from one extreme to another extreme, and just to drive it home, like the example I would give is, we went from subjugating women and having women as like, oh no, only to stay home, you're a homemaker, and I'm just giving an example, right? There's so many other ways to put it, but it's like, okay, the man has to be the one that is a certain way, and men have to be tough and they have to take on all the problems, but they have no one to talk to. They cannot cry, they cannot emote. But it's just like, because of our beliefs, we've created a society which hasn't been helping us. And then we went the other extreme, where it's like, okay, now women want equality, so women are like, okay, we're gonna compete with men in the workplace, but now give up being a mother or being there for our children. And it's just the other extreme. And I'm not saying that all women are doing this, but I'm saying that, as you know, as a general kind of like observation from my part, it's like we went from one extreme to the other, but there is a balance point.
There's a pendulum. I feel like, you know, it needs to swing really, really far before we can kind of come into
where we can honor who we are. Like, there are men that, you know, want to be nurturing and maybe want to stay home with the kids, and there are women who have you know, a strong sense of independence, and maybe they want to, you know, and not to say that a homemaker woman does not have a strong sense of independence. I'm just giving an example, you know, from just my own experiences, that to each their own, you know, like don't let society decide for you what it means to be a man or a woman. Look within yourself and see what is it that resonates with you. You know, what feels right with you. And when you can get right with yourself, then guess what? All the relationships around you will start to fall into place. And that might mean for some people leaving your life. That might mean for some people, you know, that they will not be able to stand you or understand you. And that's okay, because as long as you're being true to yourself, and, you know, you're not looking to hurt anybody, and you're on a path of embracing that part that has been suppressed. For me, it's been my feminine side, you know, and I love my feminine side. Growing up, I was like, you know, judging it a lot, you know, and even my dad had moments where he's like afraid maybe I'd be gay or something, and I'm just like, you know, I'm at a point where it's like, if my children are gay or lesbian, I would support them fully. I'd love them fully, you know. It's like, it's they're if it's something that two adults are doing and it's consensual, and it's not like they're, God forbid, pedophiles or anything like that, then I don't see anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want my beliefs of something being like, you know, like bad, quote unquote, to stop people around me that I love from fully expressing what feels right to them.
And
you know
I think,
what I mean?
like, at the core, we're not harmful beings, and I feel like a lot of harm maybe comes from not being truthful to yourself. If you actually went into your truth, guaranteed it's gonna be that you're gonna be benefiting people rather than not.
And that's the key, right? If you just take the first part of what she said, we're not harmful beings, you'd be like, you look around, you're like, nope, war here, war there, people killing, people dying, people killing, people dying. But the key part is, it's when you find that inner peace, when you go inside and you're able to find that peace within, guess what? You cannot go out and be like, oh, I'm gonna slash this person, slash that person. And even if you do, you'll be coming from a different place. Not, you know, that's a whole different story, but you know what I'm getting at, right?
I do know what you mean, in defending something.
If you're defending yourself, or it's like, it really depends where you're coming from in life. It's not much like, and this is a great example. I don't know if you heard the story of, you know, Moses, right? And I don't know if we're going on a tangent. Just stop me. We can go back to pain. But
no, I know how this is going to get back there. So continue.
Thank you. So you got to bring me back if I go too far.
We're going.
But there's this beautiful story about how Moses, and, you know, in all the Abrahamic faiths, be it Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, Moses is regarded as a very great prophet. Like, he's notable, to say the least. And yet he had moments of doubt. Yet he had moments where he, you know, for lack of a better word, may have gone arrogant or forgetful in who he, you know, what his place is in humanity. And he was humbled. And one of those examples was, he went to God, and God's like, okay, if there's a creature out there that you think you're better than Moses, present that creature to me. And Moses had a thought for a moment that there's a dog, it's a leopard dog, and nobody likes it, nobody wants to be around, nobody wants to come close to it, I'll bring that to God and present it. But in the last moment, he decided not to. And again, I'm paraphrasing, so don't quote me exactly, but God essentially said that, you know what, if you had brought me that leopard dog, I would have erased your name from prophethood. Because guess what? You're not greater than anybody, anything. You know, that brings us to the whole idea of the fact that we're all one, we're all connected. No one's better than, worse than, you know, it's just different aspects of divinity expressing itself. You know, you cannot say, oh, this tree is better than this grass because of XYZ. It's just different. And different doesn't necessarily mean better or worse. It's different. You know what I mean?
It does. And so when you were talking about
but that was not the only story I wanted to share.
Oh, sorry. Cool. Keep going then.
Seriously?
Keep going.
I don't know. No, but stop me because...
Well, I'm just going to say this quick before it
please.
leaves. Like, when you were talking about war and conflict, that is just an expression of the pain that the world is feeling collectively individually. So when that comes out, you know, because we can go deep in, but why would they do this? But why would they do this? Because it's all a reflection of the separation that we're feeling inside and collectively.
Well, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yes.
Continue.
Yes. And a great example, right, is they say proof is in the pudding. When 9/11 happened, guess what lottery numbers came out? 9/11. Because the collective consciousness of humanity was focused on 9/11.
It's really powerful.
Isn't it?
It is.
So powerful.
I know there's people that are thinking, oh, but what's the point? How can I be happier? How can I focus on myself when there's so much going on in the world and there's so much happening and suffering, and it's not to disregard that, but if we're gonna shift, then we really do need to understand that it's a feeling experience that is gonna shift this, and we have to do that individually in order to feel that. So that is actually a very powerful magnetic force that is going to influence the people around you and collectively.
Thank you, AB, for bringing us back on topic. Because God knows I would have went on and on.
No, it's like perfect.
But I'm gonna save that other story for another time. Shall we jump into pain part 2?
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
You ready for this, folks? All right. So, pain is resistance to your inner being. Wow. Pain is resistance to your inner being. Negative emotion is simply the indication that your thought is going against what your inner being knows.
Okay, wait. I have something to say because I can't even hear what you're saying because
Okay.
I'm saying because all I could hear was, but what about birthing pain?
All right, so let me finish this one paragraph, and I think
continue.
it might actually answer some
Because
of that.
I think they do go together. Anyway.
In Abraham's teaching, pain, emotional or physical, is a sign that you are out of alignment with your true self, your inner being, which is pure love, well-being, and expansion. All right, now ask the question or pose the...
Yeah,
what you were
because
saying.
we need pain to birth. So, but we're also saying that pain is a reflection of something misaligned.
Wow, that is a really good point. And if Abraham was here, which I know Abraham is here, we just can't hear Abraham
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, but this is good because this is actually...
What would Abraham say?
This is a stepping stone to taking away judgment of pain that isn't birth, because then you can see that part of you that's trying to be birthed, like, that isn't judging the pain you're going through. Judging it. It's literally just energy.
Oh my God.
Birthing.
Yes. And what if pain is just giving birth to something?
Yeah. Like, we did say it earlier, but now I'm realizing, like...
I'm sorry. I feel like we're two blondes.
Hey, what's wrong with blonde?
I should put that hair on me. No, but you know what I mean? Like
no, I think
the light bulb is going off.
It just did go off.
It's like a tube light, though. It takes a moment.
Yeah,
you
it was
turn
like,
it on, and it's like 5 minutes later. We talked about that earlier, about how it's birthing.
Slow burn.
So am I. Welcome to today's podcast.
Right, though?
We never claim to be super smart or like on top of things. We just try to be present.
Yeah.
Doing the best we can, folks. Give us a break.
Doing the best.
We're learning too, okay?
Totally.
This is really us learning as well. And if you guys have suggestions or you have insights based on what we're sharing, please comment by all means. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think. You know, do you agree? Do you disagree?
Yeah.
And point number 2. You ready?
Yeah.
Pain is guidance, not punishment. We went over this. All emotion is guidance from your inner being. Pain shows up when you're thinking thoughts or taking actions that contradict your soul's knowing. It's like a GPS rerouting you. It's telling you you're off course. Turn here towards alignment, love, and ease. And I don't know, like pregnancy, I don't know how, I feel like there's a proper answer for it, and I can't find the words for it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I haven't given birth, but I've seen it happen. And so I don't know if I'm the right person to talk about it, but if I can tell you about like the most extreme pain I've felt, oftentimes it's transmuted into bliss.
That was the next thing I was gonna frickin' say.
Mic drop.
What the heck? Oh, this is so cool. Like,
Is
it's
it?
like we
Now I
don't
wanna
have
give
this
birth
written,
just so
but
I can-
like,
Yeah.
but like, okay, no, because my next thing was, you know what? Our births, stories where they felt bliss.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And
Thank
if you
very much.
look at these situations, I mean, I haven't done like extensive research on this or anything,
Yeah,
but I
just
have
ask two
seen a
friends.
lot of like, yeah,
based on my survey.
but like,
Sorry.
yeah, on my survey of 2 friends, the state of mind does come into play though. Like, I've seen that the state of mind and what am I saying now? Just the whole mentality about how it could go, and like they expected it to be good, and I
love
mean,
that.
there's so much we can go into that, but
Makes me wanna
I don't
research
know.
it.
I don't know enough about it, but
Yeah.
but I think that
Did you guys know this? That you can experience bliss during birth? I didn't know that, but like a part of me knew that. You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
of course. Why would God or life or universe give
it's like
a
no.
woman such a noble, beautiful experience only to be like, oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna
you can
die?
only have pain and you have to suffer.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe, you know, people are choosing. I think you can choose. If you choose deep enough and you can
Imagine that.
overcome a lot of mental resistance, you choose it.
Have you seen the picture of the monk? No, I agree.
Sorry, I'm not a mom. I've never given birth, so I don't know.
Maybe you have in another lifetime.
I
You just don't
probably
remember.
have. I'm sure
Same-
I have.
same-
I feel like I'm pretty
All right.
motherly to people.
So then I
in
can
this
speak for
life,
women
but
too,
anyway.
because in another life,
Sorry, keep
I have
going.
been a woman. So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
promise you, we
know.
haven't smoked anything as yet.
As
As yet. Disclaimer. No. But what I did want to say is that there was a picture that someone sent to me after my Vipassana retreat of a monk burning himself in the streets of India while he's in the meditation pose. And he doesn't leave the meditation pose until he's completely incinerated.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
No.
And I just, at first it was a little disturbing. I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this? They're
Yeah,
like,
it is.
it was a protest, but it was also a demonstration. And it also reminds me of Wim Hof, you know, the gentleman
Yeah.
who, they call him the Iceman or
Yeah.
something. They're able to submerge him into freezing cold ice water, and he's able to
Yeah.
maintain his body temperature and not die.
And they even did studies where they put E. coli in his system, and he didn't
Really?
react. His body did not
Holy
react
shit.
because of his mental state.
Isn't that
He was
amazing?
able to
That's
overcome
like you
that.
drinking
Yeah.
Gatorade.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I was thinking about that today. I'm like,
If only
you
I
know
could eat
what?
cheesecake and
Like-
not get fat. I will not let you
I wish
manifest
I
this
could-
fat into my body.
I need to start doing that with cheesecake though, because it'd be really nice.
Let's
to
do
have
an
that
experiment,
again.
should we? It's like,
Yeah.
remember that Super Size Me documentary?
Yeah.
Let's do one where it's like spiritual, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I will eat McDonald's, but it's only going to come in as protein.
Yeah.
I'm going to get better looking with every bite I take.
Yeah.
The more I eat, the better looking I get. The younger I get, the better I feel, the more energy I have.
I think that we can do whatever we want, but we have to be so solid in that belief for it to work. Because if you have any lingering things,
I'm picturing myself eating bacon.
won't work.
Mom, Dad, if you're watching this, I do not eat bacon. We're Muslim. We're not supposed to eat
Okay.
bacon. I don't like bacon.
You don't like it? Either?
No, I've never tasted
Oh, you've
it.
never had it. Yeah, true.
I've never had it.
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. But I had it by accident, and I got grossed out because
I had it by accident.
I did have
Really?
it. Yeah, they had it on my pizza, and I told them no, it's vegetarian. And I'm like, this tastes weird. It tastes like meat. What is it? And it's not chicken, is it? And they're like, no, it's bacon. I'm like, fuck! I told you it's supposed to be vegetarian. I'm Muslim. I'm gonna go to hell, and so are you.
And so are you.
I gotta wash my mouth with acid.
Yeah, what do you do?
I don't know. You go kill yourself.
Like,
I don't know, but it's happened twice, maybe. You know, like it's like, what? You put bacon in my salad? Who does that? Don't you know I'm Muslim? I start telling people I'm allergic to bacon just so they don't put shit in my food. But it's like, I shouldn't call it shit because it's food for people, right? It's like, you know, and I gotta respect people's beliefs, and it's to each their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know where the hell I was going with this. Bacon. Maybe I'm hungry.
You said something about me drinking Gatorade, which I'm not offended
Yeah,
with
yeah. You
at
can
all.
eat something, and with your intentionality, not let it be harmful to your body.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're talking
Yeah.
about. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Ready for the
Anyway,
next point? Point number 3. Physical pain is slower energy caught in resistance. Pain is slower energy caught in resistance. Pain is the physical indicator of vibrational resistance.
Yeah.
Physical pain often results from prolonged emotional resistance. The body is a translator of energy. When emotional dis-ease goes unaddressed, it can manifest as physical dis-ease.
Yes.
But even then, it's not a failure. It's feedback, and it can be shifted.
It can be. And again, like, yeah, the emotional resistance that you carry in your body will manifest. It can manifest in your body as physical ailments, which cause pain.
Yep.
And if you look at the planet, like, it's kind of the same. I mean, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But the planet is always, if you look at nature, it's always trying to live, right? Your body does the same thing. We are not separate from this earth.
Right.
Like, we keep thinking, like, oh, the earth and us. No. Like, we're literally the earth, okay? If you look at trees and nature, it's constantly gonna grow. Like, even if, you know, something wipes it out, eventually it starts to come back. And that's what your body does too. Your body is naturally meant to heal itself. But when you have, you know, thoughts that go completely against what your soul is, doesn't know. A lot of us don't even know that we're actually, our body is in a state of trying to heal all the time. If we constantly are going against that, then that is going to grow as well.
Yeah. What you resist persists, and it causes further resistance in your body, and that leads to pain. And pain is just an indicator. Imagine you're in a car and your gas light's going out, and you're like, my car is broken, something's wrong with it, or this should not happen. Guess what? It's just an indicator.
Yeah.
We're giving it meaning that, oh, it's bad, or it shouldn't be happening, or you know what I mean?
And then that's it. That's just life. It's like that. No, it can be shifted.
Yeah.
I know it's easy for me to say. I mean, I feel really good in my body. But I have experienced pain, and I know that when I'm experiencing it, I can't think of anything else, because it's like, this is all I can think about now. And
hey, buddy, come, you can join us. We're doing a podcast. He's welcome to.
He's like,
let him come. Let him come.
Say hi.
He's cute.
Okay.
Come, buddy. Come. How you doing? Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God.
That's so sweet.
He loves me. She loves me.
She loves that.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pretend I'm not scared. I'm very.
She was like,
no. You know what? I've been conditioned, right? Like, I grew up Muslim, and you know, they say that, oh, dogs are dirty, you're not supposed to touch them, you cannot pray afterwards. You never noticed, like, some Muslim people will like be like, oh, like, keep your dog away from me?
Yeah, well, I noticed, like, I guess if people have also had bad experiences, like if they come from a country where dogs are like loose,
Yeah.
then they're nervous around dogs.
That too, but also if they're taught that, oh, dogs, you know.
but look at how she laid right here.
No, but
like,
she listens
so
to you.
Sweet.
Wow. How old is she?
Beautiful.
Oh, she's so cute.
You were so cute.
Sit.
Oh my God.
Sit though.
This is the universe sending her to me.
This is like my dream.
Yeah. So cute.
Oh.
Mango makes you run around, no?
Yeah, she's crazy.
She's awesome. Actually, she gave her a gift too. You know,
Yeah?
because
Yeah.
she loves dogs.
Oh, do you?
I used to have a golden.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah, she's my first dog ever.
Oh, that was
Really?
my first dog
She's
too.
really like a human being.
You had her when she was a
So
puppy?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I got her when she was 8. I took her home when she was 8 weeks.
Amazing.
Oh.
You want to say hi to our podcast family?
Hi,
They're right
podcast
there.
family.
No, it's all good. It's all
This
good.
is like
It's actually ideal. We're
Yes.
talking about pain and how to deal with pain and transmute pain. And don't eat
she would
that.
love that.
Very good therapy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're teachers.
This is
Healing.
this
Yeah.
is perfect actually.
Well, you could see her on our podcast, Truth X Ali.
Okay, I'll look it up.
All right.
Thank you. Nice
You're welcome. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the gift.
she doesn't want to go.
Good luck. She's dragging her.
Mine used to do that
That's
too.
funny.
When they want to go somewhere, they're like,
That's
"No, I'm sitting here
funny.
until you take me," and that is,
She probably weighs more than you.
yeah.
I don't like dragging her like
Then don't. Just let her
It's
be.
okay,
Whatever. It's all
yeah.
good. We don't mind. It's a beautiful distraction.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that was just such a beautiful
Wasn't
little
that-
like reminder.
Yeah.
Like, look at the joy
Yeah.
and the love there. Like, you know,
So cute.
we have that in us.
Yeah. And
But we don't let
yeah.
that out a lot.
No, we don't. I notice I bring it out. It comes out around animals and children
When I dance, it comes out.
and dancing.
Sometimes when
and
I watch
fun stuff.
myself dance, I'm like, am I a nerd? Like, look at how much I'm smiling. And I'm like, what the heck? Why
Do
would
you
that
see
be
yourself
a bad
as a
thing?
nerd?
Yeah.
A dance nerd or just a nerd?
No, just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, maybe when I get so vulnerable like that and I'm just glowing so much, I feel like,
Oh, you're judging
geez.
yourself,
Like, I
like-
judge myself a little bit, but then I'm like, no. Like, I know that I need to
But
do it. It's
nerdiness doesn't
my-
need to be a bad thing. Like I
Yeah.
remember once there was a girl I was dating and she's like, "You're such a nerd," and I got offended. She goes, "No, I find it hot."
There you
I'm
go.
like, "I'm definitely a nerd."
See? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm that
yeah,
nerd.
I'm a nerd.
Like a Clark Kent nerd. That's the one I'm. Like,
Yeah.
Superman type of nerd.
yeah.
But in my head.
Yeah. But I feel like letting that joy out, this is
Yeah.
just a beautiful reminder that is healing. Like
Yeah.
letting yourself feel joy. And I know, like, I have sat with people, I've done one-on-one sessions before too, and it's like such a big calling within me that I can feel that so many people are so they're holding themselves back from their own healing, and we're not taught that our joy is our healing. That, but it
Right.
actually is. Like, being in that state is literally just flow, and that
Yeah.
energy is constantly rejuvenating itself, constantly healing cells,
Yes.
constantly shifting pain.
Yes.
Is there pain because you're so
Right.
in bliss, just in the moment, that
Yeah.
what
You may
else are you
forget your
even
pain.
thinking
It's
about?
like even last week. You know, I think you were in some pain, and during the
Yeah.
podcast, you didn't experience that pain.
Yes, the first one.
Right? Oh yeah, that's right. The first one.
Oh my god, I hadn't
Right.
experienced that kind of pain in a really long time, and I just chose, like, I'm gonna just go into it. I'm just gonna embody it, and I'm gonna let it be there. And then as soon as we started talking, it was like I didn't even think about it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to our next point,
Mm-hmm.
which is don't fight pain, soften around it.
Yeah.
Abraham recommends not pushing against pain or trying to get rid of it. That only amplifies the resistance. Instead, soften your thoughts. Find relief. Reach for a slightly better feeling thought. Focus on what feels just a little more peaceful. You can't go from despair to joy in one leap, but you can go from despair to anger, from anger to frustration, from frustration to hope. That emotional climb is the healing.
Do you blame yourself or someone else for your pain?
Someone else, for sure. That's
Yeah.
easier to do.
Yeah.
It's his fault. It's her fault. They did this to me. She did this to me. Look what they're doing. If only they would change, things would be better.
Do you see that the blame is keeping the resistance there?
For sure. Or it's also satisfying my ego in the moment, but it's keeping the resistance.
Yeah, because when you say soften to the pain, okay, how do you soften to something you hate so much, right?
Right.
Like, I don't deserve this, I shouldn't have this, or the other way around where like I shouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
and that's why this, and this is why this is happening, and trying to make sense of it and blaming is keeping it in resistance. So if you can try to let go of any kind of blame, like not, oh, why am I feeling this? That's what I always do. Why does this hurt so much? Why? Like, what about take away why? Take away trying to make sense of it and just let it be there.
Yeah.
This is what is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because those two things, I think, are really keep it stuck
Yes.
in this like hard
Yes.
place that can't shift.
Yes.
It's just like more painful.
And exactly from the reading, right? Like you're speaking to it as well. That look at that beautiful yellow butterfly. So good, so good.
Last time I was there too.
Yeah, I love it. What I wanted to share is that you can't go from pain to joy in one leap, but you can go step by step because
Yeah.
Abraham talks about the emotional guidance scale, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, and she. Yeah.
That just reach for a better feeling thought and you will go through the emotions in a way that you will eventually get to hope, you'll eventually get to joy, you'll eventually get to higher emotions. But it's a process. It's not like boom, it's done.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it can be and it has been done in history. But for the most part, you're going through the emotions, right? So you're going from despair to anger, from anger to frustration, from frustration to hope. And from hope, it starts to get positive, right? Like
Yeah, so like frustration is better than despair.
Yes.
Or like better, but it's like moving
like
up.
yeah, you're moving up.
Less
Yeah.
and less resistance.
Yes. More positive or more beneficial, let's put it that way. Or more aligned with what you want, right?
Yeah.
Although some people are addicted to pain, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Shall we go to the next point?
Yeah.
Number 5, how to deal with pain in terms of Abraham style. Number 1, acknowledge the pain. It's real. Don't suppress it. Number 2, bless the pain. We went through this. Soften your focus. Then number 4 would be move up the emotional scale. Don't rush to joy. Find relief first. Number 5, reconnect with well-being. The moment you release resistance, healing begins.
Yeah. And a lot of what Abraham teaches is focus on something else. And it can be really hard when you're feeling so much pain because it's like it's taking up all of your focus. And how can I focus on anything
That's
else?
true.
And it's just,
It's a very strong indicator.
yeah. And I think the middle most important part there is the acknowledgement. You cannot say, okay, this really sucks, but I'm just gonna look over there and like maybe
Yeah.
she probably would say, yeah, just do it. Like,
Yeah.
but I think as humans, in our humanness, we're not just looking over there. We're storing that pain,
Right.
and we're storing it because we refuse to acknowledge it, so it sticks around, and then we're just ignoring it and going somewhere else, and that doesn't actually shift the energy. So it keeps actually into our subconscious if we go long enough without
Right.
addressing it. So address it, acknowledge it, and life is going to show you what you need to do, because you'll get situations that'll come up and you'll feel, you as in me, will feel, why am I being ignored right now?
Right.
Why is this person ignoring me, and why does it make me so mad?
Right.
And then it's like, wait a second, what am
I wrote a song about
I
that, by the way.
ignoring? Really?
Text me back, it's called. It's like, she's
Text
not
me
texting me back.
and-
I've been in those situations. Have you guys been in that situation where you like text somebody and you're like, why are they not responding? Who are they with? What are they doing? What's more important than texting me back in this
Yeah.
moment?
Like feeling ignored and
Yeah.
and what am I
Don't put
ignoring
baby in
about
the corner.
myself? Like there's a lot of, just because it's pain doesn't mean that it's not an aspect of yourself that doesn't deserve the same amount of love that all of you deserves.
Yeah.
Because that judgment of not liking it is going to say, oh, well, it's not deserving.
Right. It's more resistance.
Yeah. And it's not
And
true.
it keeps it in its place.
Because energy is actually neutral, and there's no word, like there's no like this is better than that. Only we do that in our head.
Yes. Next point, you were never meant to suffer. You came into this life for joy, expansion, and freedom. Pain is not part of your original blueprint. Abraham says you are a vibrational being. When your vibration matches love, ease, and appreciation, you thrive. Pain is just a contrast that reminds you to return to that natural state.
Yeah.
Wow, how beautiful
So
is that?
good, because it's also not saying pain is wrong. It's not
Right.
saying, oh, you're thinking wrong if you're not feeling good.
Yes.
It's not like that at all. It's you can thrive
Yes.
if and when you choose
Yes.
this.
Yes. Yes. So, exactly.
We can choose all of it. Like, we're here free.
You know
we
what
can
it-
do it. We
yeah.
can keep ourselves in chains if we want.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want.
You know what it reminds me of, and this is also touchy. Wow, this podcast is very controversial.
Totally. I'm just thinking that now. Like, we're gonna get a lot of people being like, "What the?"
Okay, since we're at it, we've already
Uh-oh.
did all the religious people. Now I'm going to talk to you about my personal perspective on something that
Let's
I saw.
go.
You ever see those bumper stickers where it says "fuck cancer"?
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand maybe they lost a family member, or there's a family member that's suffering from cancer. You know, I've had family members that I've lost from cancer as well.
Same, yeah.
But to say "fuck cancer," I feel like it's coming from a place of anger,
Yeah.
a place of
Loss.
frustration and loss, and although I can understand that, you know, and that makes sense, I can empathize with that deeply. I don't think that focusing on the problem in that way is a good solution.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so you may ask, so genius, what is the solution? Well, maybe if we were to look at what's causing cancer, why is the rate of cancer so high in the West, especially in America and Canada, as opposed to the rest of the world, we can find the answer instead of resorting to anger and medication that is just meant to mask the symptoms. But we look to actually see, okay, what has caused this, right? What are the emotional, traumas that are leading to this, that a person is literally killing themselves,
Yeah.
and trying to come from a place of maybe not judgment, but curiosity that, okay, maybe there's more to it than we actually are understanding. That at some part we are committing suicide in a slow way.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
and there's the other side of it where, I know people who have passed away from cancer too. Beautiful soul. So loving. So smart. So beautiful in so many ways, and you just think, but why? Why is that happening? And I don't have the answer for that.
I think we
I
could do a
don't.
podcast on that.
Yeah.
On loss and death and
Yeah.
and why people suffer so deeply.
Yeah, I think so though. It's just a sign in the background because
What was that?
that bird just knocked a huge stick off that
Oh
branch.
my God, that's a strong bird.
But yeah,
And
so,
there's a caterpillar on here. It's so cute. It's a furry caterpillar.
Oh yeah. But okay, wait. The point about yes, fuck cancer. Like
Like I get it, but it's coming from a place of anger and resistance.
it's coming from a place of not understanding that what you focus on creates.
Yeah, I think
That's all. It's like
Yes.
if you're in pain,
What you focus on creates.
and you're focusing on the pain, and you're telling everybody about your pain,
Yes.
and you're seeing more things that prove to
Yes.
you that you're in pain,
Yes.
then you are creating and
Yes.
perpetuating
Yes.
more pain.
I think Abraham said this, that don't be against something, be for something. And although at the surface it may not seem like a big difference, it's a huge difference. It's the idea that everything has two sides to it, two sides of a stick, two sides of a coin. You can see the glass half full or half empty. So similarly, when you look at cancer, you can choose to look at it as something, okay, I'm going to be angry at it. But guess what that does? That creates disease in your body and all those that are feeling that emotion. Or you can be like, okay, let's get to the bottom of it. There's other countries where people are not suffering these rates of cancer. There's other generations that haven't experienced the same rates of cancer in the same locations. What is it that we're consuming through our senses that's causing us to kill ourselves?
It's because we've been taken, our autonomy has literally been taken away at birth, okay? We're born into a society that
It was a
thinks
rhetorical question.
that we're
Sorry,
not.
I'm glad that Amy's answering it
because
because
I need to say
guys,
it.
listen.
But it's like what I was saying before about nature and how it's naturally meant to rebuild itself. We have been stripped of that since birth.
That's true.
No, we give our, we're supposed to listen to somebody outside of us to
That's
tell
true.
us what's good for us.
That's
so
true.
then we listen to outside of us, and that's a separation in itself. It's just an
Beautifully said.
example of separation. And with so much separation and not any knowing of this power that we actually have in our bodies, then we start to believe in the separation instead of in the growth and the healing that we carry in our bodies, because we don't know.
Correct. Beautifully said. I'm glad you said that.
And then I
Yeah.
feel like for me, like I feel like, cancer, sickness, illness, it's again, like it's just like showing, it's the sickness is coming from our mental state, of our spiritual state,
Yes.
of our connection with
Yes.
source, the world, each
Yes.
other.
Yes.
We just are living in so much separation that it's like this illness is showing us. It's like we're not supposed to be sick, but
Yeah.
but our way of life, the way that we have been living, it's kind of like it's just a manifestation of our internal state.
100%. Beautifully said. And it's like Abraham said that all illnesses stem from the mind
Yeah.
and can be resolved from there as well.
Yeah.
But it's like it's in a sense you also have to be out of your mind to realize certain things.
Yeah.
And to be able to see the mind for what it is and how powerful it is in terms of creating and perpetuating disease.
Yeah.
So I love what you shared. Yeah, and then in closing, Abraham talks about reframing pain in the
okay.
following way. Pain doesn't mean something's gone wrong, as you were saying. So we don't judge it. Pain means you're being lovingly nudged back to your truth. And if you
Lovingly.
don't listen to it, then it starts to get louder and louder, and eventually it can manifest as a cancer or something else.
Yeah.
Even chronic conditions can shift when your point of attraction changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it?
How does it shift?
How do we shift it?
Oh, how do we shift it? That's a good question. How I would answer that is through the three tools of creation: thoughts, words, and actions. And the most important being the seed of it, the thoughts. And even the thoughts have a seed.
Yeah.
Can you guess what that is?
The thoughts have a seed. Tell me.
I wouldn't call it so much of a seed, but it's like the first, bless you, the first indicator that we are not even aware of. Conscious, unconscious, I shouldn't say unconscious because it's not unconscious, subconscious is feeling it all the time. It's our body sensations. And so the moment that a thought comes into contact with us, we have a body sensation.
We can, yeah.
whether we realize it or not.
Yes, yes.
And those of you like Amy who are sensitive, you can attest to this.
Yeah.
That your feelings and your sensations are getting more pronounced. Like you're more aware of that.
Yes.
If that's fair to say.
Yep. Yeah, you can become more
Yes.
tuned to those feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
How do we shift pain?
Yes, how would you shift? So one way is how Abraham explained through the emotional scale, reaching for better feeling thoughts. And the other is shifting our perspective, starting to see pain for what it really is.
Yeah.
Right? All the tools we just shared in this podcast and the previous podcast about, not judging it, but not ignoring it either, embracing it.
Fully feeling it.
Yeah,
And,
feeling
and,
it.
And surrendering to the feeling
Yeah.
that it is. Yeah.
And then asking the right questions, right? Like, what is this pain trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Right? What is it that I'm not hearing that this pain is telling me, especially if the pain is getting more pronounced or it
Yeah.
becomes a disease
You know what I just saw? A crying child.
in me?
A child crying for their mom.
Wow.
Because it's like, and when your mom isn't listening and you're like, Mom, yeah. And they're just, and then it's like they start crying and it's like, the mom has more But it's like, that's your body saying, hey,
Wow.
like, I need attention. I need something.
Yes.
Okay. And you go to a child, what do you need? You know, like, it's innocent.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. It also reminds me of in conversations of God with God, where God says that relationships are the holy ground, and everything is about relationships in this reality. And your relationship with yourself is very much like your relationship with your inner child, or even with a child, because it's a part of you. It's something that you love dearly, but you may not be giving it the right attention, the right nurturing, right?
And I'm just thinking, like, of the years that I've gone in and saw myself, or continue to see myself deeper and deeper, and how disconnected I was, and knowing that, you know, on a level, we're all a little bit disconnected from that. It's like we all think that there's so many better things to do, or, you know, we got to get this and this done, or like, we're so focused on, you know, what we got to get done, what we got to prove. Are they better than me? Well, I got to be better. Like, what do I, you know? And it's like, those things aren't important. I know that maybe sucks to hear, but maybe it's the opposite, because that pain or whatever you're feeling inside of you is actually like calling for you, like, please connect there.
Yes.
And when we can actually give ourselves that love and nurture and attention and acknowledgement, how that affects our nervous system, first of all, and puts us back into ease rather than, you know, agitation, fight or flight, which causes more pain and more sickness. But just connecting. Like, imagine if we all did that, like, how we would get along, how we would actually interact with each other, knowing that, oh, I've got me because I'm paying attention now. I'm not going to ignore anymore. You know, how many times have you been ignored as a child?
Yeah.
And then you learned, oh, okay, my crying isn't really that important. Okay.
Yeah. You know
So
what
my
this
pain
reminds me
isn't
of?
really important,
Right.
right?
No, it's so important. Like
You're just a
it's
crying
indicator.
child. Like,
Yeah.
stop crying.
Right.
Grow
right.
up.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Like,
You
we
know,
have
deal
things
with
to
it.
do.
Here's an iPad.
Yeah.
Go watch Teletubbies or something. I don't know.
Like, we're just, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right. It reminds me of a story, again, from this same series of Conversation with God, where Neil and God are having conversations about Hebs. Have you ever heard of Hebs? Highly evolved beings. So they
No.
talked about how there's, you know, other...
Like an alien?
Yeah, like us. We're aliens too.
Yeah. True.
More on that on another podcast.
Yeah. Oh my God, we have like so much to talk about.
Comment below. Let us know what you want to hear about.
Every time we talk,
Anger,
I'm like, oh, that's another one.
this,
That's another one.
disease, aliens. Wow.
We're gonna
New
do one
Earth
on aliens.
rising, all kinds of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah. So where was I? Yeah, highly evolved beings. How they don't have a need for words. They communicate telepathically, and there's such a sense of oneness that if, for example, you came to kill me, I would gladly lay my life down. Because it's like, okay, if you're coming to kill me, there surely must be some benefit to you. And if there's a benefit to you, there's a benefit to me. So, and I know I'm eternal, so go for it.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. It's radical.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if you think of the great masters, okay, so many of whom, including Jesus Christ, who were crucified and killed, you know, and all the disciples were also crucified in different ways, some on an
Who
X,
you
some on a
spoke
cross.
about in the beginning.
Right.
The meditation.
It's almost like they were not necessarily resisting it, because they're just like, we know who we are.
Yeah.
We know what we're about.
And we'll do this again and again and
Yeah,
again. And we
yeah.
have done it again and again and again.
Yeah. I find that so amazing. And again, it reminds me of another song I made that I want you to hear. It's called Blood in the Sands.
Ooh.
And the lyrics are somewhere along the lines of what's, you know, swords in the sky, blood on the ground. What's the price of truth tonight?
Oh.
You know, and it's all about the battles that have taken
Wow.
place.
Mhm.
You know, and these battles are taking place all the time. Sometimes metaphorically, sometimes in our mind, sometimes in the physical realm. And if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, for example, it's all about Mahabharata, the great war that's going on, and Krishna is guiding Arjuna to be like, hey, I know you're having a war against your relatives, but you have to go out there and be strong and do what you need to do, knowing that you're really not killing them. You cannot kill them. They're eternal.
Yeah, it's an illusion.
It's an illusion. And it's just a, we can talk about that too, about how these great books, they talk in metaphors, and how, and this is something that my yoga teacher reminded me of in the most beautiful way, because it's like, it just hit me like a ton of bricks when he said, you know, the Quran, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, all these religious books, they are beautiful books, and they're, you know why? They're interpreted in different ways. The same book can be interpreted 100 different ways. Why? Because the person interpreting it is interpreting it from their level of consciousness. I was like, that's so deep.
Yeah.
That's so deep. That's
and it's
so deep.
True
and it just
them.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, so this means you gotta kill everybody. No, it means kill your ego.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, this means, you know, X, Y, Z, but it just depends on where you're seeing it and the context in which it was said. But you can make it mean 101 things and then some, you know what I mean? Interesting, right? That could be a whole other podcast.
But I mean, like, maybe this is not right, but like, how disconnected do you have to be to think killing is like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you've never wanted to kill someone? Come on, Amy. Be honest. I think about like 5 minutes before the podcast. You could have named a couple of people. Like, yeah, if they died, I wouldn't mind. If they just fall dead on the dance floor, just randomly walking, I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't be so bad.
Well, you know, there's thoughts, but that's not like
there are thoughts.
Real.
Yeah, but think about it this way, right? Coming back to the 3 tools of creation: thoughts, words, and actions. You can kill it at the point of thoughts and not act on it. Yeah. Right? Or you can kill it and not even speak it.
Yeah.
But then there's people that think it, right? That's why they call it premeditated murder, because they thought it. Yeah. They talked about it perhaps, or at least to themselves, and, you know, like planned it out. Yeah. And then they acted on it. Yeah. So in essence, we all do that when we see that we're destroying our lives and others. We're doing premeditative, you know, whatever, like harmfulness, right? And so with those tools, we can either create hell or we can create paradise for ourselves and for others. Yeah. It's entirely up to us. And much of this pain that we're experiencing, it's because we're holding on to something, right? We're not letting go of something. Maybe it's like, that person has made me angry, but guess who's suffering? Yeah. You are. Yeah. I am. Because I'm holding on to that anger, and that anger is causing something in my body.
Because you're judging the situation.
Yeah. And my ego won't let it go, because it's like, but he's wrong, or she's wrong, and they should be punished, or they should realize X, Y, and Z, or, you know,
like, they owe me. Like
they owe me something, or I'm right, they're wrong, and God's with me, God's not with them. And it's just like all these wars, right? And people are like, God's with us, and they're like, no, God's with us, and in the name of God.
It's like God saying that to themselves.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly.
It literally is. Like, we are God. Like, we are fragments of Creator. Yes. We create. That's what we came here to do. And we are creating. Some of us don't know it. Some of us do know it. Right. And some of us are trying to, better those skills so that we can create more of what we want. But, you know, I mean... Yes. I didn't know that. I didn't know that my whole life. I didn't realize, you know, it was just like everything was a reaction to something happening. Like, I have no control. I have no power. Yeah. But that's what we're born into. That's what we're taught. And and it's not like, you know, our parents or anyone want us to think that. But think about how much control, you know, maybe some bigger forces have when we are not awake to who we really are. Yes. And a big controller of that is fear. If we're in a state of fear, we're so easy to control, because look, we're looking for someone to help us. We're looking for someone to save us or take us away from this. And it's like we have lost our total autonomy in ourselves and our ability to heal, create, lead.
I think I can walk away and just let you speak because, girl, it's good. I mean, like, it's good because you have so much to share.
I do.
Do you realize that?
I do.
Isn't that amazing?
The more I'm talking, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it's valuable, whether you realize it or not. But imagine Amy 5 years ago. Imagine Amy 10 years ago. Wouldn't you want her to know this? If you're listening, Amy, from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this is for you, girl.
she's doing her best, but she probably can't hear me right now.
Right?
No, actually, when I was younger, I used to write in my journal, and I would ask questions, and I would get answers. And now I'm realizing, I'm just becoming the one who was answering. So maybe I was
cool.
hearing.
Yeah, there you go.
Time doesn't exist anyways,
No, it doesn't.
right?
It's all in the holy moment of now.
Well,
Present, future, past, everything.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you for doing this with me and like
Yay.
having this because it's really fun.
As am I. It is fun. I think we're doing more for ourselves than for you guys.
Yeah.
Selfishly speaking, but it's a beautiful
whoever
thing.
it resonates with, that will benefit, hopefully.
Guys, if you think this podcast can benefit somebody, please share it with them. If you have questions, comments, anything you want to add, please leave it in the comments. Amy, you want to give your contact information so that they can also reach you, your Instagram maybe?
Yeah, my Instagram is Amy Lynn Fournier. I don't know if I should spell that. AMYLYNNFOURNIER.
That's right. And if you're watching this, you're watching it on Truth X Ali. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. We might also be doing TikTok lives simultaneously. Let us know if that's something that interests you or you recommend it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channels, follow us, like, comment. We've already said that. And we will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.